Hello, friends. Namaskar. And in the continuing series of taking up very important themes, जो current affairs और general studies और even perspective development के अगर हम आईने से देखें तो we have been able to understand कि socio economic, socio political, socio cultural जहां पर भी कोई पॉजिटिव चैलेंजिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है एग्जामिनेशन उस पर फोकस करता है। और उसी दिशा में सोचते हुए हम छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चन छोटे छोटे आइडियाज को हम लेते हैं और हम देखते हैं कि कैसे हम उसको वी कैन चैनलाइज आवर थॉट्स और हम राइटिंग के अंदर उसको पहले लेके आए, क्योंकि राइटिंग के बाद ही आप कह सकते हो कि बात हो सकेगी। तो पहला क्वेश्चन मेरा आशिक आपसे यही है कि बांग्ला गारमेंट सेक्टर क्राइसिस जो चल रही है, बांग्ला गारमेंट सेक्टर क्राइसिस जो चल रही है, तो क्या इंडियन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री अगर उसका फायदा उठा पाए तो उसमें वैल्यू चेन इशू क्या रोल प्ले करता है? वैल्यू चेन इशू है, एक बहुत बड़ा वैल्यू चेन है। हम वैल्यू चेन को किस हद तक हम कैपिटलाइज कर पाए हैं और कर सकते हैं। और दूसरा, हमारी इनेबिलिटी है रॉ मटेरियल को इंपोर्ट ना कर पाने की, क्योंकि क्वालिटी कंट्रोल ऑर्डर प्रोग्राम्स हैं। तो इसीलिए हम वहां बांग्लादेश से सारे ऑर्डर्स को अपने यहाँ हम कैपिटलाइज नहीं कर सकते। तो क्या रास्ता है हमारे लिए?
So Bangladesh is known for its own Murshidabad muslin as well as other important cotton products that is sourced by the several big industries. For example, Adidas, Nike, even in big brands, H&M, Zara, etc. So India can capitalize on various fronts. For example, we have our own GI tag, Sambalpuri, as well as in textile, Banarasi sari, etc. As well as Muga silk can be used from Assam. That can be one perspective. Second would be creating of a bulk textile park and integrating with the established SEZ corridor. That would be, and third would be targeting the important export hub countries, for example, US, Western countries, to uh, to make our export more cheaper and affordable as compared to Bangladesh. Because Bangladesh faces crisis of three things: electricity, then raw material, as well as political instability right of now. So India can use
तो
these challenges for its purpose.
ओके, कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, कैन यू शेयर लाइट कि हमारे जो नए गैस, जो जो प्राइसेस हैं, न्यू गैस जो हम न्यू गैस जो हम माइन करना चाहते हैं, या जो हम हम वायबल बनाना चाहते हैं, तो डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स ओएनजीसी को क्या करना चाहिए? ओएनजीसी को क्या करे कि नए गैस प्रोजेक्ट्स वायबल बने?
So for making new gas viable in India, three aspects needs to be covered. First is integrating the gas to the national gas grid, which is already established in India. And second would be focusing on R&D, for example, GSI, with the use of GSI and other institution, so that indigenous gas plant can be established as well as new location can be resourced. For example, Bombay High, even in Assam, even in oil gas reserve in Godavari and Krishna basin, etc. These three aspects needs to go.
यू आपको मैं बताऊं, दमन दमन में भी ओएनजीसी ने अभी एक नया प्रोजेक्ट प्रमोट किया है। दैट इज अ वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग। चाइना स्टील एक्सपोर्ट्स, जो चाइना स्टील एक्सपोर्ट्स है, वो किस डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है? चाइना का जो स्टील एक्सपोर्ट है वो किस डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है और इंडिया से उसका क्या कनेक्शन है?
Yes, sir. So China is a world largest exporter of the steel and also producer of the steel. India produces around 113 million ton, whereas China produces 900 million to 1 billion ton. So in long term, China is focusing much more on creating a value chain product with regarding to the export of steel, but it is facing challenges due to the Evergrande crisis, real estate sector crisis, as well as uh, viability of the steel export is not suitable in a longer run. So it is dumping into the more developing countries, for example, India, Vietnam, and Southeast Asia.
Okay. इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ इंटरटेनमेंट अगर हम बात करें तो जो लाइव प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, जो लोक गायन है, यानी फोक म्यूजिक है, पॉपुलर कल्चर है, उसमें लाइव म्यूजिक या लाइव से शोज का कितना बड़ा रोल है? जैसे फाल्गुनी पाठक आपने नाम सुना होगा, है?
Yes, sir. The
फाल्गुनी
singer.
पाठक
Yes.
आप, उनका एक गाना था ना बड़ा फेमस था जो सबके उसमें चला था, याद पिया की ऐसा करके कोई गाना था, बहुत 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 चला है, मतलब सदियों तक
हाँ
चलता
सर.
रहा है। फाल्गुनी पाठक उस गाने के लिए जाने जाते। तो लाइव शोज जिसको हम सजीव प्रोग्राम भी कह सकते हैं, तो आप उसमें बताइए कि उसमें उसमें मतलब इंडिया का जो सोसाइटल कल्चर नेचर है वो क्या दिखाई देता है?
So, for example, in India, various live show is performed by important artist Pawan Singh in Bihar, as well as there has been uh, Goa festival, as well as uh, Lakshman Temple festival is there in in Madhya Pradesh. So, live festival promotes tourism, and further it also helps in social cohesion because it is visited by several sections of society. At the same time, it also focuses promote the folk artists and culture so that the intangible heritage get preserved and conserved in India.
स्टील स्लैग रोड टेक्नोलॉजी क्या होती है, क्या उसके यूसेजेस हैं?
Yes, sir. So pet coke is used in manufacturing of the steel, but the waste or byproduct of the pet coke is slag, which is just dumped into the uh, barren land. So that kind of slag, it is mixed with the asphalt to make a steel slag based road technology. It is much cheaper. It is focusing on 3R economy, as well as it will long last as compared to normal hot asphalt based technology.
अभी कुछ समय पहले हमने देखा था यूएस, यूरोप, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में इंडियन मसाले और इंडियन प्रोडक्ट्स के अंदर कुछ चर्चा की गई थी। तो क्या कीवर्ड था उसके अंदर? कीवर्ड क्या था?
Yes,
इशू क्या था?
yes, sir. So issue was high amount of fertilizer content, which
नहीं,
was
कीवर्ड कीवर्ड क्या
keyword.
था उसके लिए?
So
की क्या
phytosanitary
था?
measures. It was
नहीं नहीं, और स्पेसिफिक कीवर्ड बताइए।
the pesticide. Uh,
नहीं,
so I am not able to recall exactly.
मैक्सिमम रेजिड्यू लेवल।
Maximum.
द की कॉन्सेप्ट वाज मैक्सिमम रेजिड्यू लेवल कितना होना चाहिए। तो इंडिया का जो एग्री टेक है, इसको इस दिशा में काम करना पड़ेगा, प्रूव करना पड़ेगा ईयू के जो स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं उसके लिए। दैट वाज द मेन इशू कि जो मैक्सिमम रेजिड्यू लेवल्स ईयू और यूएस ने जो किए हैं वो जो है ज्यादा है। दैट इज द होल पॉइंट। व्हाट डू यू नो अबाउट कार्बन कैप्चर यूटिलाइजेशन एंड स्टोरेज टेक्नोलॉजी? Carbon
Yes, sir.
Capture, Utilization and Storage Technologies, CCUS.
Yes, sir. So sequestration of the carbon is one of the mitigation strategy to achieve the climate change goal of Paris 2015. And to capture the carbon, we have several kind of technology. For example, growing of the mangroves, as well as saline caverns is there, underground caverns is there. At the same time, we can focus on creating of a natural afforestation to capture the carbon. Further, direct CO2 capture technology is also used. It is used to maintain the SOC percentage in the soil, as well as it helps in regrowth of the trees and other plantation.
So we can
Okay.
also say that carbon capture and sequestration can be done in two methods. One can be natural and one can be again the man-made, the role of man. So in natural, we can say oceans and then coral reefs are important. then mangrove forests are important, and the natural forests, they are important as the carbon sources. And in man-made, we talk about the, for example, the mines which are now no longer in use, they can also be important sources for carbon sequestration.
जब हम बात करते हैं आशिक बायो फार्मा सेक्टर और फार्मा सेक्टर, तो उसमें पेटेंट एब्यूज के बारे में आप क्या कह सकते हैं? मतलब कहने का अर्थ है बायो फार्मा सेक्टर में जो बायोलॉजी है या बायोलॉजिक्स जो उसके कहेंगे, वो केमिकली सिंथेसाइज मेडिसिन से बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है।
Yes.
क्योंकि क्योंकि बायोलॉजिक्स में बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स है, मेथोडोलॉजिकल और केमिकल जो है वो इनहेरेंटली डिफरेंट है, और जबकि आप सिंथेसाइज मेडिसिन की बात करें तो ऐसा नहीं है।
Yes.
That's why in context of India, the issues relating to biosimilars वो पेटेंट में भी और रेगुलेटरी लैंडस्केप में भी उनको हमने हैंडल किया है। तो दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने एक एंट्री ऑर्डर भी दिया था कि भाई जिसके अंदर बायोसिमिलर्स को मतलब रिस्ट्रेन कर दिया था, डिपेंडेंट कंपनी को रिस्ट्रेन किया था ताकि मार्केटिंग और सेलिंग ना हो पाए। सो व्हाट डू यू से इन दैट रिगार्ड बायोफार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में?
So biopharma and pharma basic difference is extracting bio, for example, plant-based derivative. It can be natural and it can be artificial, grown algae, bacteria, seaweed. It can be used, whereas pharma use chemical synthesis, API as well as drug intermediaries for making of the drugs. So first important challenge is regarding to the Plants Variety Rights Act, and according to it is biodiversity of the environment. Second would be regarding the traditional rights of the community, rights of the tribals, and that have the community rights over the plant varieties. Third would be important regarding to the biopiracy and the violation of other biodiversity act. Fourth would be regarding, sir, if biopharma is impacting the lifestyle of the human, it is really achieving the result what pharma is doing, because it is a plant-based derivative. So GM modification and other aspect is also included in it. IPR issues is there also.
Okay, please share name of certain revolutionaries, क्रांतिकारी जो राष्ट्रभक्त थे जो काकोरी कॉन्स्पिरेसी से जुड़े हुए थे, और क्या थी काकोरी कॉन्स्पिरेसी?
Yes, sir. So Ram Prasad Bismil is there one, and Kakori conspiracy, Chandrasekhar Azad, and Sachin Sanyal. All three were related to Kakori conspiracy. It was a armory raid, I think, sir, in 1925 in UP.
आर्मरी रेड थी?
नहीं,
Are you sure?
चित्तौड़ armory. It was different, sir.
काकोरी क्या है औषिक जी? काकोरी क्या है?
You have to look into it, sir.
हाँ?
I
have to
think
look
it is
into it.
related to train conspiracy, train looting.
So
हाँ,
चित्तागम armory raid था वो.
चित्तौड़ आर्मरी रेड को आपने काकोरी से लिंक कर दिया, ऐसा प्रेशर में, और ऐसा कई बार हो जाता है, लेकिन काकोरी कॉन्स्पिरेसी तो ब्रिटिश की नजरों में है। काकोरी जो है वो लखनऊ के पास एक स्टेशन है, आप कह सकते हैं कि रिसोर्सेज यानी मनी और बाकी ट्रेवल हो रहा था तो उस पर अटैक करके उसको लूट लिया गया था। स्वदेशी डकैती कह सकते हैं आप।
So we
Yes,
can
sir.
also say कि part of revolutionary activities भी था.
बिल्कुल।
And sir, one more I think personality, Ashfaqullah Khan. So I think ये भी,
अशफाकुल्लाह खान, हाँ वो भी होंगे। राजेंद्र लाहिरी भी थे, ठाकुर रोशन सिंह भी थे। ये नाम हमें बिना याद किए याद आने चाहिए, बिकॉज दैट इज हाउ द क्लैरिटी शुड बी। 6 years ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्स कौशिक, 6 साल हो गए हैं गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्स को।
Yes,
तो
sir.
क्या इश्यूज रिमेनिंग हैं और क्या सॉल्यूशंस हैं?
So GST is one nation, one tax. Present issues are several. For example, regarding the compensation, uh, which was promised by the center to the state, and it has been low. Second would be regarding the cess and surcharges used by the center to reduce the overall fiscal devolution to the state. Third would be GST and an associated appellate tribunal that is needed. Uh, Fourth would be regarding the violation of the other technical barrier or even e-way bills that is present on the ground. And fifth would be regarding the changes of the tax slabs, which creates a fiscal burden sometimes to the center. Sometimes there is a comparative federalism in the GST concept. So solution is, sir, first is focusing on the GST and code, that is uh, the online platform for filing of the GST should be there. Second would be compensation cess. Compensation should be given at a promise rate. Third would be some kind of a committee should be established to withdraw, for example, cess and surcharges should be included into the GST devolution to the states. And so fourth would be already the GST appellate tribunal has been established so that the uh, present challenges can be solved.
So your biggest challenge in case of GST is the generation of fake GST bills, for which we are still looking for what can be the permanent solution for this.
Okay. Data is the new oil. How India can learn to mine it?
So India has a lot of potential because of huge demographic dividend as well as cheap availability of the data. So India can use that benefit to its own development. For example, focusing on data center, for example, in Noida. Second would be focusing on data localization and database employment. That is gig economy, contract based job, as well as service led economy can be there. Further, data, the use value of data can be used for urban development as well as space economy and others. And last would be, sir, focusing on cyberspace, creation of space service so that the data can be secured. So data protection bill becomes very important part of it.
What is the solution for Manipur crisis?
Yes, sir. So Manipur crisis is a example of uh, theory of alienation between the two communities, Meitei and Kuki. So there has to be a certain kind of a accommodation by both the community at a very grassroots level, supported by the central government as well as the government of Manipur. And first step would be uh, concession given to both the community, and one term is there with regarding to non-operational by both the government and armed forces as well as the Meitei and as well as Kuki rebellion. They have to stop killing each other and secure peace at the local level. Third would be focusing on village management committee so that the solution and resolve and the core issue can be tackled. And most important thing is regarding the reservation, giving SC status to Meitei as well. That should be looked into it. That should be reviewed.
How do you think discipline and decorum जो हमारे legislation में है उसको कैसे प्रमोट किया जा सकता है, और खासकर उसमें ऑल इंडिया प्रिजाइडिंग ऑफिसर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस जो है उसकी क्या की लर्निंग्स हैं? ऑल इंडिया प्रिजाइडिंग ऑफिसर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस.
So All India Presiding Officer Conference focusing on important ethical and even code of conduct that should be maintained in the legislature. So some form of activities can be used to mandate ethical values. For example, first would be, sir, regarding the live session, which is clearly visible by the events every citizen in the country, and how the parliamentary proceeds during the hearing. Second would be use of department related standing committees, that plays an important role. Third would be focusing on ethics committee. It should be given more teeth regarding disqualification, as well as creating of a code of conduct that can be adhered to. So fourth would be dashboard, that just as justice clock is there for judiciary, dashboard should be there, so that each and every MP and MLA can be or and his or her duties, contribution to the parliament as well as legislature should be given in a very point form. For example, absent, present, as well as question asked, all that should be present, so that every citizen can question and make their representative accountable.
What is the role of International Financial Services Centers Authority? International Financial Services Center Authority. बाकी लोग भी बोल सकते हैं. Mansi, you want to say something? You can always speak up afterwards.
So currently, I have no idea regarding this, sir. I have to.
No idea.
This is located in the GIFT City, Gujarat, IFSC Center, जिसको हम GIFT City, Gujarat में बोलते हैं. So this is in a way, it is like for manufacturing sector, we have SEZ. So this is for promotion and more integration, more security of the financial or the fintech companies. So it is a hub being created there in the Gujarat, the GIFT City. And this will be also, we have seen that recently, like we have Nifty index. So there is Fin Nifty index also been introduced, so as to again better track how the investments can also be brought in, it can be attracted into specifically Indian companies.
Okay. In the recent times, Ashik, there were riots in Britain, and the middle class liberals, they were not able to understand कि आखिर हो क्या रहा है. तो क्या आप 5 कीवर्ड्स बता सकते हैं जो कि हम ब्रिटेन में होने वाले राइट्स को हम अंडरस्टैंड कर पाए?
Yes. So 5 keyword would be yes. So theory of alienation by both the minority as well as the white man native. Second would be regarding multiculturalism, not adjusting towards the local native values. Third would be competition between the communities over the resources, jobs, and so fourth would be we can say, sir, appeasement, as well as not adhering to the political values. For example, slowing down of reducing the democratic values at a lower level, because debate and discussion can play a very important role, which could be missing at a lower level. That is why right took place.
Sir, I'll have to think more about this.
भाई सिंपल सी एक लॉजिक उसका ये है कि जो भी ब्रिटिश की सड़कों पर हो रहा है, इट इज लिंक विद द मिजरीज. जो मिजरीज हैं, ब्रिटिश की जो अंडर क्लास है, जो ब्रिटिश का पुअर क्लास है, जो उसका वनरेबल क्लास है, जो जनरेशनल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट से सफर करता है, पॉवर्टी से सफर करता है, बोर्डम से सफर करता है, और वो सफर करता है कि हमारे लिए फ्यूचर में भी कोई होप नहीं होगा. They are the people who are coming on the streets, and they are the one who are actually, creating real-time lessons for Britain. Ashik, never memorize something that you can look up. ऐसा अल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन ने कहा है. Never memorize something that you can look up. आपका इसके बारे में और एग्जाम से रिलेटेड अपने बारे में क्या सोचना है?
Yes, sir. Say focus on understanding the important concept rather than a mugging up, because if you are understanding the basic thing, then you can just look up rather than recalling the important facts or other kind of uh, things in daily life. For example, in exam also, focusing much more on fact, data, etc., it is secondary, but basic understanding of the question demanded as well as what is being asked becomes very important. So for that, keen understanding is required as well as observation skill is required.
ओके, अगर मैं ये कहूं आशिक, एक्सपेक्टिंग द पास्ट टू कीप डिलीवरिंग रिटर्न्स, एक्सपेक्टिंग द पास्ट टू कीप डिलीवरिंग रिटर्न्स इज एज इरेशनल एज रोमांटिसाइजिंग इट, किस कंट्री से आप रिसेंट टाइम्स में उसको लिंक कर सकते हैं? एक्सपेक्टिंग द पास्ट टू कीप डिलीवरिंग रिटर्न्स इज
Yes, sir.
एज इरेशनल एज रोमांटिसाइजिंग इट, ये आप
Yes,
किसके
sir.
कॉन्टेक्स्ट, किस कंट्री के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप कह सकते हैं?
So first country which comes to mind is USA, because its policies with regarding to the Iraq as well as Afghanistan as well as Libya was focusing on democratic intervention, but it was keep failing. It had used that kind of a philosophy even in Vietnam, but it was a failed strategy. So rather than focusing on intervention, it should focus on creating of a sustainable model in the local country as well. So first example is that. Second would be regarding India, because India focuses on past, for example, civilization, values, tradition, culture, etc. At the same time, it is also moving ahead with the modern values and important judgment, for example, with regard to LGBT, decriminalization of the triple talaq, then focusing on decolonization, it is moving ahead. Yes.
और कोई कंट्री जो आपके माइंड में आ रही है?
So another country is Pakistan, which focuses on tradition of the religion-based system in the country, and for example, IMF loan, which has been given several times, 22 times till now, but it keeps failing on the account on the terms of the IMF that has been given to.
अगर हम ज्यादा रिलैक्स होकर सोचते तो शायद बांग्लादेश भी हमारे माइंड में आता, क्योंकि शेख हसीना भी यही दिखाना चाह रही थी और जो हो नहीं पाया, तो पहला एग्जाम्पल आपके माइंड में वो क्यों नहीं आया?
So because sir, sir.
हाँ? इंडिया की कुछ बिगेस्ट कंपनीज एआई और गवर्नेंस के लिए क्या कर रही हैं? एआई बोर्ड या फिर मॉडल्स के लिए वो क्या कर रहे हैं?
So India biggest companies, for example, Tata, as well as one of the companies, Ola, that is focusing on creating of a Indian-based LLM model, language model. For example, Krutrim is Ola startup. Then Tata is focusing with SMSC, Taiwan, and investing in creating of a semiconductor facility. For example, Moregon, Sanad, Dholera, etc. So that basic uh, semiconductor can be created, and on the basis of that, NVIDIA can use that kind of technology to create a more AI based system, because it needs GPU. So hardware is also there, software is also. So many of the industries focusing on hardware, software. AI Bhashini app is there, focusing on local languages, and Kritrim is there. Yes.
ओके, अगर हम बात करें डेटा लेक, व्हाट इज डेटा लेक?
So exactly, I don't know. I have to guess.
प्लीज गेस.
The data lake is a repository of the data at a one place, which can be used to
ऑन
generate.
ट्रैक. Comprehensive and progressive agreement for trans-Pacific partnership.
Yes, sir. So I have to give definition or
कुछ भी बताइए आप.
yes, sir. Trans-Pacific
Comprehensive
partnership. Yes.
Trans-Pacific Partnership?
India is not a member of Trans-Pacific Partnership because it is a Trans-Pacific partnership, including the country Trans-Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, even China, Japan, South Korea, US, Canada, Mexico, etc., and that region. So, for successful model of a Trans-Pacific, 2 to 3 key areas are there. For example, regarding the data as well as reducing the tariff between the countries, focusing on blue economy and climate change mitigation, as well as cooperation in several aspects. For example, WTO reform, as well as e-commerce, taxation of the global big tech companies, etc. But it is not successful because it is not including African countries, Indian countries, and China versus US is also playing important role, is not in Trans-Pacific
Okay,
Partnership.
what you can say greedflation?
Yes. So greedflation is term used for the companies that is focusing solely on profit, which is driving the inflation of the product. That is increasing the profit rather than quality, which is driving up the cost paid by the consumer. This is greed inflation.
What you know about geocoding?
So I have to guess it. I don't know.
British कीजिए.
So geocoding, I think it is related to genome coding, or no. So I don't know. Sir.
Climate smart agriculture. कुछ
Yes.
illustration दीजिए.
So climate smart agriculture requires 2 to 3 areas. For example, mitigation of climate change through technology, AI, IoT, AI, etc. Example, uh, uh, agri stack is there. Second would be sensor agri, which focuses on decimation of data. Then climate smart focusing on creating of a afforestation and value chain product to meet to reduce the impact of the groundwater as well as land thefts. And fourth would be creating of a such varieties of crop that is climate resilient, what high water productivity, etc. All these becomes part of the climate smart agriculture.
Carbon molecules in space.
So carbon molecule in space. So I don't know. So
क्लाइमेट फाइनेंसिंग के बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? क्लाइमेट फाइनेंसिंग के बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
yes, so climate financing under the UNFCCC was done in 1994 and under GEF. Then 2010 Cancun summit focused on green climate fund. But the problem is with regarding to developed versus developing countries finance. Developed country had focused on $100 billion per year to developing countries so that they can go for just transition, which is not happening. But in coming decades, we are diversifying the climate finance. For example, through use of carbon market, use of CER, carbon emission reduction. Then third would be regarding green bond. Fourth would be sir loss and damage fund, which has been placed under the COP28, $480 million by the developed countries. So in longer run, there will be a new avenues for the climate finances.
God has entrusted me with myself. ऐसा ऐसा एपिक्टेटस ने कहा. Explain.
Pardon, sir.
God has entrusted me with myself.
Yes.
एक कोट है ये ग्रीक फिलोसोफर. आप
Yes.
इसको कैसे कहेंगे?
Yes, sir. We can just look from the lens of the human, because human is observing the whole thing beyond ourselves, but he has said that God has made me interested in myself. That is, he has focused on spiritual aspect and mental capabilities, as well as sense of contentment, sense of love, bhakti, so that she can get a higher result in their life. So I think example would be Mahatma Gandhi, sir. If we can say Gautam Buddha would be example, Kabir, Ravidas, etc. So role of mind, role of logic comes into play if we are thinking about the God, the universe, as well as nature, and what is the connection of human being with it. So I think this is a context. Right?
Okay, why do you think India do so poorly in Olympics?
Yes, sir. So India is a developing country. So majority 80 crore people are still getting uh, subsidies and other things from the government, and and securing of jobs, well, that is government job, even private sector job becomes most important for the family. That is why focus on sports becomes secondary at a societal level. But at the same time, we are not focusing on much diversification of sports. For example, ice hockey, water skiing, swimming, etc. We are focusing on 2 to 3, 4 to 5 sports. For example, archery, shooting.
इससे हमें गोल्ड
Then
मिलेगा?
yes, that is yes, sir.
इससे हमें गोल्ड मिलेगा?
Yes, sir. गोल्ड मिल सकता है, but it becomes a on the part of the sportsman, as well as uh, the competition that is being given at the national level. So whole psychological support as well as mental support, even national and state level support is required to win a gold. It will
Okay.
take a long term, sir. It will take 10 to 20 years.
Wonderful. I think good points, and we had good insight into many ideas. And we will look into further explanations, different exercises. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you, sir.